We all appreciate something unique that will make us apart from the rest. This is where the magic of innovation comes in to make a simple thing unforgettable. Unfortunately, sometimes bike innovations were more of a gimmick than practical, so they couldn't succeed. While overdoing simple things, other innovations lost their purpose and significant features. That's why we will discuss 9 bike inventions that failed. How often do we hear Google fails? Well, not much. But something indeed went wrong with Google's self-bike. It all started back in the Netherlands, a country where cycling is the most popular and most used commute. The Dutch cycle more than any other nation in the world, almost 900 kilometers per year. The goal was to create an intelligent bicycle that could be self-driven with Google Intelligence. It's been almost a decade of planning and prototyping, even with the news of launch, but it never saw the light. And as of today, Google's self-bike remains mostly in the news than in reality. Arvak Keim tried to hit the sweet spot of being modern yet a bit old-fashioned, with a futuristic look and a wooden frame. Indeed, with its one-of-a-kind wood frame and striking design, it was hard not to look at it. But that's all about it. Arvak Keim lacked the purpose and practicality to be on the buyer's list, especially the hefty price couldn't justify the rider's wants. At the same time, when you pay a premium, you expect it to be more than just looks. Elliptical Bikes tried to take fitness to a new level, where riders can work their core muscles and cycle simultaneously. But in reality, it was not as easy as it sounded. Both of these activities are heavyweight exercises in nature, which need a lot of strength and stamina. So to use the elliptical bike as a means of fitness or exercise was fine, but in daily practical life it wasn't possible to commute riding these bikes. Wheels with inbuilt suspensions. Loop wheels were off to a great start. This technology could reduce road vibration and impacts by 70%. At the same time, the integral suspension meant riders could save a lot of time without buying additional suspension. However, the idea lacked success because loop wheels couldn't quite get in terms of the rough and adventurous bicycle rides. As a result, later on, they eventually moved on to produce loop wheels for wheelchairs instead of bicycles. Sinclair C5 is not a known or family name riders have heard of recently, but C5 can take us on a nostalgia trip to the time we thought robots would take over humans. The makers of C5 came up with this futuristic idea of an all-electric tricycle that would fit one person and won't use petrol to save the environment. And the most exciting part is all of this was happening back in 1985. To think of an all-electric tricycle running on battery in 1985 was way ahead of its time. Coincidentally, this was the exact reason why Sinclair C5 failed. Imagine Segways competing with the fastest man on Earth, Usain Bolt. Who would win? Well, the answer is long gone, like the Segway itself. From the beginning, Segway started to make a name for itself to be the next big thing for its multiple purposes, being used by celebrities to move around sets and films entirely shot on Segways. But sooner the downfall came as Segway had too many mistakes to deal with, from running over Usain Bolt to the accidental death of former owner Jimmy Heselden. And finally, the company stopped the production of Segways completely. Ever thought about why we only bike with our legs, not our arms? Well, Twicycle did. Twicycle is a road bike that both arms and legs can pedal. This bike takes riders from one place to another and allows them to work out their upper body. So in theory, this sounded amazing as cycling will help riders with cardio, and with Twicycle, riders can now work on their upper body simultaneously. But in reality, the idea had a big loophole of practicality, which Twicycle completely lacked. Jogging and cycling at a time is a fantastic idea that Glidecycle wanted to bring it into the cycling world. But with time, the picture turned out to be more impractical than exciting. On paper, the idea was to have the best of both worlds, the fun of cycling and the fitness of jogging. However, such activities in the interest in Glidecycle didn't quite materialize. Its riding system was based on momentum rather than pedaling, which limited the tracks to ride with Glidecycle. Just like the riders of snowboard bikes were confused about the head position, maybe the makers were confused about this bizarre bike design too to come up with something like this. The idea of moving away from conventional bikes is excellent, but not the execution. The makers even tried too many by omitting bike basics like frame, handles, seats, and brakes. That was our list of 9 bike inventions that failed. Thanks for watching. Please share this video if you find it helpful. Also, consider subscribing to this channel to help us grow.